do you think there's a monumental breakthrough that it jumps from like, whether it's in our life or a kid's life, where it goes from like, we stop aging, like they've actually stopped the process of aging? Is it possible? Or slowed it down to the point where it's like people could live 500 years and 700 years and
we're very close, way closer than people want to think. And all we have to do is get to the point where we add 1.1 years for every year that you live. And they call that escape velocity. And we're right on the cusp of it. And it's more important than Moore's Law. And it's more important than almost anything you can think of. And like everything else, it's going to happen for ultra rich people first. It's just how it is. And that's okay. And the reason that's okay is because someone has to fund the research. And if you have $10 billion, because $1 billion just isn't enough anymore, if you're Austin Powers, what else matters? You can buy anything you want. You can have a bigger jet or whatever, but you want more time, you're going to put all your money into it. And that's what the big money is really doing. And that research flows downhill. And that means the fact that I did, went to Salt Lake and did my 6 hands, whole body stem cell makeover where 3 doctors work for 4 hours pulling bone marrow and putting stem cells everywhere in my body they can. That's the cost of a Tesla today, right? But will you still have to pay the doctors to do that? Yes, you will. It's always, you want the best people on earth injecting you. But is the cost of stem cell technology going to drop dramatically and become more effective? Yes. It's going to just keep getting better and better and better.
You think I've been thinking about doing? You think I should do the stem cell thing? That whole.
Go see Dr. Harry Adelson at Docere. He's been on the show a few times. Just did a documentary on stem cells. I sent my parents to go see him. I've seen him several times, and yeah, they literally put stem cells every joint in my body, inside my spinal cord, inside my spinal fluid, face, hair, male reproductive organs, pretty much everywhere you can have them. I've had them.
Could you give me that? Where's that? How do I get that information? Because I want to do this. I've been really,
Docere, DOCERE clinics in Salt Lake. I'll email you or something. I'll hook you up with Harry.
Yeah, please. Dave, I really am intrigued by this, and I want to get more involved in this whole movement. And I have a lot of knowledge to offer it, and I think, and also money to invest in this to help with research and stuff. I think it's, at the end of the day, I think it's like the most important thing. I really do. Do you think there's a breakthrough though? Like, do you think there's is there a moment when someone's like, we've cracked the code on how to reprogram the cells? Or is it that? And there's two sides to it, I think. I think there's all the things that you're talking about. And then there's simply the genetic reprogramming of the cells from the telomere perspective. And all of the...
telomeres are easy. Those are already hacked. I'm not even worried about that. Liz Parrish has done some work on retroviruses you can inject that will increase your telomeres, and I'm chatting with her about doing that. But the Russians figured out in 2001, there's $50 injections you can take. You inject them for 10 days once a year. It's a peptide, and the peptide radically lengthens your telomeres.
Have you done that?
Of course. And here's the problem, though. If you lengthen your telomeres, you increase the growth rate of your tissues, which increases your risk of cancer. So what do you do to reverse that? You take care of your mitochondria, because cancer is mostly a mitochondrial disease. So if you want tissues that grow like a young person, then you need to do things to get rid of your old cells. And you want to do things like NAD and coenzyme Q10 and things. So you balance it out.
That was another big one. Coenzyme Q10 was a big one of Dirk and Sandy Pearson.
They're right.
And quercetin, I think, was another big one they were recommending.
Yep. Those are so well studied at this point. In fact, a lot of the modern anti-aging people are looking at quercetin as a particularly effective senescent cell remover. So there's protocols where you take a pharmaceutical and quercetin, and it makes your cells get rid of the zombie cells, one of those 7 pillars of aging I talked about.
Before I started doing NAD patches, and I first had to take a 3-month regimen of something that actually got rid of what are they called? The zombie cells? You call them?
They're called senescent cells.
Yeah, senescence. Yeah. I like zombie better, right? And I did it for 3 months because you said you want to get rid of those before you go on the NAD.
Yeah. So you're getting good care. Is what that means.
And you have to keep doing that, or you do it once and that's it, or you got to keep doing that again and again.
I would do it periodically. I mean, if you want to get really into the anti-aging stuff, you can do things like rapamycin. for inhibiting mTOR. You can run protocols with apigenin, which is stronger than quercetin. And it's something that I use as a cognitive enhancer, but it turns out it also burns through these cells. What you're going to find over the next few years is there's a whole wave of these incredible custom tailored peptides and other compounds coming through. We're using machine learning and artificial intelligence to figure out which ones work best, whether it's nutrient-based or drug-based. And now we're finally looking at aging as a disease. So I know 2 different companies that have 5 or 6 major switches about to be solved, where they can say, oh, this is why your skin gets thin. Done. This is why your hair is falling out. Done. And they're doing it at a very deep genetic cellular level. And it's not a drug. These are interventions that are changing cell biology. And it's awesome. And this is the future right now. We're living in it, and we all look backwards and say, oh, it's always been this way. The world's going to get real exciting in the next 5 years.